My name is Swami Atmapriyananda. I am a Hindu monk. There is a university, it's called the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda University, and I happen to be the head of that university. I am the Vice Chancellor of that university. In the Hindu tradition, there are transcendental ways of looking at love and forgiveness, as well as the relatively less transcendental way of looking at them. I'll explain. The transcendental means I feel an injury because I think that you have criticized me, you have insulted me, either individually or collectively. So I carry the hurt within me. I think about it, ruminate about it, and even if I don't think about it, that thought never leaves me. And therefore I come back to you again and again. Imagine a person like you and then do all kinds of shadow boxing, which we do every day. Now the transcendental way of looking at it is, there are two aspects. One is if you're a theist, if you're a believer in God, you'll go back to God and say, oh God, why did it happen to me? You will not say the other man did it. You will say, by the will of God it has happened, and why should that happen to me? And you say that God has some reason why he did it to me in order to cleanse me or purify me. So you don't attribute it to that person concerned, because he himself is a puppet in the hands of God. He is being controlled by a divine will, and he did what he did, perhaps not because he intended to do it, because he didn't have any other option, because God was operating through him. That is one way of looking at it. You may not logically think it is very proper to do that, but it gives you a lot of satisfaction. And in our tradition we say, in the modern language I put it, God is the infinite shock absorber. Pass on all the shocks to the infinite. I get a shock, I get agitated, I get upset, I get deeply hurt. Go to God, offer it to them, offer it to God. Because all the things which are happening in life, if they are happening through the will of God, that which has happened to me belongs to God. Take all this hurt, all the injury, and then say, oh God, this has happened to me, it is yours, take it. I am at peace. That is for a believer in God. Suppose you don't have that kind of faith in God. You don't believe God made him do it for your good. Say, no, that fellow did it, I should do something about it. It's not God which did it, I have to take it upon myself. And if you not endowed, you were a theist, not endowed with that kind of faith, or if you're a non-theist, everything happens because of causality, because of the Buddhism, for example. The Buddhistic faith does not invoke God for everything. It says there is a law of causality, cause and effect. The effect is because of a certain cause. If you look at it from that point of view, then you will say, there is a particular cause because of which this happened to me. As a scientist, as an investigator, as a non-believer, as a rationalist, I will ask for the causes which I do not know. If you want to know the cause of it, then there cannot be a single cause. There are several varieties of causes. That particular person might be irritated that day. I do not know what is in his psychology. I do not know what made him do it. So I have to have a large number of data to be able to say why it happened. Since I do not have the data, as a rationalist I will say, I will not attribute anything to him. This is an incident which happened, and therefore, as a rationalist I would say, this incident, because all incidents pass, all thoughts pass, since they're impermanent, this incident is also equally impermanent. You carry this memory. Incident has passed away. The present is gone. I carry the memory and try to bring the past to the present and choose to suffer. So I have a choice whether I can suffer or not suffer. And therefore the forgiveness doesn't come into the picture at all, because nobody to forgive. Who do I forgive? I don't attribute it to him. So either transcendentally, if you have a theist, you'll have to, he is not at fault. And if you're a non-theist, once again, he is not at fault because so many causes are involved in it, I do not know the causes. Now, If you are not from a transcendental point of view, look at it from a very relative point of view. Even then, the very simple way of looking at it is, he did it maybe as an impulsive movement. Why do you want to attribute motive to him? In the court of law also we say, we always give a benefit of doubt to the other man. He did it because he was very impulsive. To require an apology from him to be able to forgive would mean that I put myself on a higher pedestal and said, you did it, come, now, kneel down, bow down, say apology, say a word of apology. I don't need to ask for it. The law of karma, which we talk about in Hindu religion, which Buddhism also has borrowed from Hinduism, there's a law of cause and effect, and he will get whatever he deserves to get by a certain cosmic law. I don't have to interfere in that law and demand an apology from him. Either way, you are satisfied. If the concept of forgiveness itself is absent from your mind, there is nobody to forgive, then there is oneness and love. If by thought I forgive, and this thought I try to eliminate from me through artificial means of requesting apology and then compensation, justice and so on, this thought remains there, and then the remnants of your having removed it will also remain. The scar will remain. But love requires something much higher. You have not forgiven him because there is nobody to forgive. He did what he did because of certain laws of karma, if you are not believer, or because so many factors are involved in his life, or because he is a puppet in the hands of God. Suppose I'm in a group. I'm the leader of a group. I'm a leader of a family. My children are being assaulted. And my group is being... Then I have a responsibility to the group. Individually I may forgive, but collectively what do? That's a very difficult situation. The Bhagavad Gita text, which is well known, Arjuna was a warrior. He was the general of the army. He was leading the whole army to war. Suddenly he said, let's forgive, leave them away. Sri Krishna tells him, you can forgive, but you can't. You are not an individual anymore. You are representing a certain army, and you are the general of the army. In that case, you should fight it out. But when I fight it out without malice, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. I have no individual malice towards the person who did it, but because there is an injury was perpetrated to the group, of which I am supposed to be responsible, then I have to do something about it in order to be protective to the group. So I have a responsibility to the group, and I have a responsibility to see that I have no malice within me. What does a judge do in a court? He has no individual grudge against anybody. There is a justice. There is an equality. This happened for which you need to get this. Not because I am giving it to you, but because you brought it upon yourself. I am only distributing, I am only disbursing it. There is a position in the governments which is called the drawing and disbursing officer. They call it DDO. You are working under me. You deserve to get a salary at the end of the month. But you don't get it straight away. I draw it from the exchequer and disburse it to you. What is my role? My role is I'm only drawing and disbursing. So your action has initiated a karma within you, and it is deposited in a general pool, and what you deserve is being drawn and given to you. The role of God in a Hindu religion, so in some of the sects of Hindu religion, is he is a drawing and disbursing officer of karma. Whatever every individual deserves to get, he gives it to him. In that particular role as a general of an army or the head of an institution, you simulate the role of God, in a sense, by being attuned to him and asking for him to be empowered so that you can play that role. In that case, you are not individually malicious to him. At the same time, you are discharging a responsibility to the group. There is a story in our tradition. There is a monk which was passing by a small river. A deadly scorpion fell into the river struggling. He was about to die. He took it away and kept it there. It stung him. But he knew some medicines. He attended himself and then walking away, then looked back. Again it fell. Again he went and took it away. Again it stung him. It happened the third time. An onlooker said, "My Swami, you are a fool. This creature is again and again giving you poison, but why are you saving it every time?" He said, "You see, I have learned a lesson from this creature. Because this creature has been programmed by the God or by the divine or by the nature to sting anybody who touches it, instinctively. That is his dharma, that is his nature. My nature is to help everybody unselfishly. If this little creature, unintelligent, not highly evolved creature can stick to its dharma, how much more should I stick to my dharma?" It is not a question of forgiving it. It is a question of, I can do this because I can't do anything else. You separate the anger from the angry man. It is the anger which made him do it and not he. Which means anger is only one aspect of his personality and it is not his personality per se. It's just like I wear a shirt this moment. Next moment I take it away. So anger could be separated from the person himself. And if you look at it that way, he may not be able to do it. But if I look at the person in that position, and then there are certain specific mantras for it, then I chant the mantra and remember, see, his anger made him do it. So you can do it for yourself also. Suddenly you become angry. My anger did it, I didn't do it. So what happens there is a kind of a denial of the very impulse which made you do it. It's a very highly psychological process. I deny my emotions. So I give reality to my emotions by thinking that they are capable of doing this or that. It's I who give reality to the emotions. If I deny this, then the potency of the emotion will simply get weakened. I'll give you an example. Suppose you are working for a company. You are an agent collecting some money for the company. You are caught doing something fraudulent. The company gives an advertisement in the paper saying so-and-so is no longer with us. We deny him. We are not responsible for his actions. You continue to do what you do, but the company is free. In exactly the same way, I deny this emotion. This anger did it. I'm not responsible. Somebody said, "Why did you do it for me?" I didn't do it. My anger did it. If you can psychologically deny, cut yourself away, dissociate from that emotion simply withers away.